Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. I love these videos. These unboxing videos are so much fun. Many times I'm not entirely sure what deck I have here. Today, I have a really good suspicion. Today, I know exactly what deck this is. I wasn't expecting very many decks to come in, as well, a lot of the developers are still struggling with COVID, supply, demand, and getting things out. So, I know what deck it is, and I've been waiting for this deck. It's been one that caught my attention late last year, or maybe even the year before, and I couldn't wait to get it. I thought it would really add some spunk and flair to the decks I already have. So, without further ado, let's get into this box. I just love getting new decks. Like I've said before, some girls, they collect shoes. I like my cards. So of course, this is the Radiant Scales. It's a beautiful dragon-filled deck. I love my dragons, and I couldn't wait to get this deck. I love this deck. On the back, it says Radiant Scales Tarot is a passion project of 75 artists and writers brought together by our love for tarot and our passion for all things dragon. They really had me at that. Absolutely loving it. So this deck did hit the Kickstarter quotas and had a whole bunch of different added bonuses as we started to go through the different tiers. And there's a beautiful dragon pin, enamel pin. A beautiful bag, Radiant Scales. And this is a tarot cloth. I have a couple of these. I don't usually use them as much because I don't really like the pre-cut, preordained spaces. As you can see here, this is a spread that they've created, which is fantastic, especially as you're learning. However, I love the colors, the gradient. It's so pretty. Whether you'll see that on my channel, I don't know. But I do think it's beautiful. And then we have, oh, and there's their, oh no, that's the Celtic cross. They must have I would have thought an explanation of, well, that's an interesting way of doing Celtic cross. And you'll see that there's different versions of the different Celtic crosses. And then all the different writers. And then an empty box. All right, let's be honest, it's not the box. Yeah, all the extra bits are fun and exciting, but it's the deck, right? That's what you're gonna see most. And it's kind of the highlight of the show, if you will. Such a pretty deck. So the box itself, it's got a nice kind of radiant shimmer, and then this beautiful white dragon. I like these kind of boxes. They've got the little latch, but they fare better than the ones with the flip top, because the flip top has a tendency to wear, and then all of a sudden the top rips off, your cards are exposed. Yeah. And I'm really glad that they did not put plastic wrap on the deck. I'm always afraid that I'm going to nick the cards when I'm taking them out of plastic wrap. Such a pretty box. I love the back. I enjoy it when clients can't tell the top from the bottom. A lot of clients get really anxious if they know cards are upside down. So I like it when you can't tell which is up and which is, well, down. And again, it's got that beautiful shine. There is a silver gilding, which I love silver and gold gilding. I love that little bit of extra, which was also another Kickstarter, whatever those tiers are called. I know it has a label, but it's early in the morning and I haven't had all my coffee. So here we have the Fool. I absolutely adore the bright colors, the playful spunk. Like I said, I felt that this deck was really going to add that kind of fun spunkiness. I've got a lot of spunky decks and I really enjoy them. And they read really nicely no matter who you are. The Magician. I love the multi-handed dragon. The High Priestess. Bringing in that deep purple, that purpley blue that the High Priestess is known for. She's got a lot of blues. She's got a lot of moon energy. And of course, that moon is not forgotten. That earthy Empress. Beautiful. I love it. The three-headed Emperor. The Hierophant. The connection to earth and the connection to spirit. I like the way that they've taken a different balance to this Hierophant. The Lovers. Hard to see, but there are two dragons here. They've got their nest. And then again, we have Raphael depicted in a very different light. He's depicted in that dragon form. The Chariot. I love his expression because you know that chariot, he gets his steeds going and he just loves it. Strength. So beautiful. You've kind of got the tiger, lioness type feel to the dragon. So beautiful. The Hermit. How fantastic. Wheel of Fortune. I love the spiral. The tail just seems to go on forever. Justice in her balance. Very feline. Nice. The Hanged Man. Or I guess they could have called it the Hanged Dragon. Death. Even in death there is beauty. Oh, what a beautiful Temperance. The Devil wants to play with the Temperance there. And the Devil. The Tower. I love how it almost looks like the lightning is going almost underneath the tower too. The Star. Such beautiful imagery. The Moon. Again, we have that same purpley blue color of the High Priestess here. And of course the Sun. So gorgeous. Like I said, I saw this deck and fell in love with it. Judgment. And the World. Absolutely adore. This, I think, is going to be a newfound favorite. This is nice as well because we have the Ace of Air, also known as the Ace of Swords. I enjoy it when different decks add a bit of a twist to it. you'll see that the swords can be seen as air. They sometimes use the elements. They sometimes get a little bit away from that standard. However, I think with the dragons, that elemental connection is such a fantastic choice. So we have the ace. We have the 2. I like how we still have the blinders on. We have that hood, the eagle's hood, I think it's called. Such a fantastic choice to add in that uncertainty of the 2. The 3. We still have that heartache and pain depicted with the red feathers, yet it still talks of that hope, that movement forward. The 4. Such a fantastic card. The 5. I love the reflection. I love how we have that broken mirror and it's looking so intently at itself in that one other mirror. The 6. The 7. I love how it's trying to get away with that jewelry. So fantastic. The 8. How absolutely gorgeous. The 9. That heartache and pain very clearly depicted there, whereas the 8 just feels lost. And that's very common in the 8, where in the original card that Pamela Coleman Smith drew, there's a woman bound with a blindfold on and she's penned in by all these swords. She's missing out on life because of all that heaviness, the lack of movement. We're not looking at breaking those patterns, just kind of that stuck feeling. And of course the 10. We have that sorrow, that challenge to get up and get going. The Page of Air, the pursuit of knowledge. Oh, and what a menacing and fantastic Knight of Air. The Queen. I'm enjoying these multiple wings here because the Queen of Air, the Queen of Swords, has learned all her knowledge firsthand. And that interlocking, intertwining effect really talks about how things build off of each other. And of course, the King. So fantastic. And I wasn't sure if they were going to do this, as I hadn't really looked into it too much. I followed the Kickstarter pages, but I wasn't going through and really assessing all the cards. I like a little bit of excitement and unknown to these unboxings. So, the air all had that purple, that knowledge, that connection. Earth, we're looking at that green, that very fertile color. So of course we have the ace. And then the 2. And that's a very different way of keeping balance and keeping all the balls in play. The 3, of course the 3 of Earth or the 3 of Pentacles is that cooperation. I adore this connection to spirit. That is what I like to call the Triforce Perfecta card, where it's you, your physical support team, and your spiritual. Very well depicted there. The 4 of Earth. The 5. Such a beautiful take on the 5. the 6, the 7. 7 is usually talks about that hard work, that dedication. 8, you're looking at that attention to detail. 9, of course, abundance. And 10, there's a little, either dragon, yeah, it's a dragon. I was going to say dragon or deer, but as it's a deer dragon, we have a baby one, that family, that connection. The page of earth. Oh, that knight. And in the original deck, Pamela Coleman Smith drew the knights in varying stages of motion. Whereas we had the beautiful and majestic knight, he's in flight. This one's very stuck. He doesn't have wings. He's just kind of hanging out in his environment, which is exactly the same energy that Pamela Coleman Smith had for the Knight of Pentacles. The Queen of Earth. And then her consort, the King, also known as Midas Touch. And I like how he's looking at his hands like, that's it, I am doing it. Not surprising to see the Ace of Fire with that red connection. Any guesses on what that water connection is going to be? Right? The 2. So beautiful. The 3. The 4 of Wands. Fantastic. Oh, and that challenge of the 5. The 6. That 7. So fantastic. The 8. The 9. The 10. And of course the 10 of fire, or the 10 of wands, talks about that kind of burnout. He's all burning out there. Nothing but fire. The page. The knight. That beautiful and sassy queen. And then, of course, her consort, the king. Who saw the ace or the water coming in on the blue? I do like how we have different aces. A lot of times what happens in the different decks, they'll just use the same card and, well, reskin it into different colors. This is very much a different rendition, a similar rendition, but we have a different feel to them. I like that attention to detail because it is easy just to take that one drawing and then use it again and again. The 2 of water, such a beautiful card, also known as the Lesser Lovers, and we have that balance and that reciprocation, that reflection. The 3, community, that camaraderie, such a fantastic card. The 4 talks about those missing pieces, that missing way forward. The 5, Talks about not focusing in on those 2 upright cups, while focusing in on those 3 overturned. The 6, the 7. Interesting take on the 7. Usually it does have depictions of the 7 deadly sins. However, I quite enjoy it. I like how we have a lot of misdirection in the tail and those swirling puddles. So it's a very nice take on a card that sometimes gets stuck in a rut. The 8. How fantastic. I love it. The 9, of course, another abundance card. And of course, there are more abundances than that prosperity in that financial aspect, but abundance nonetheless. And then that 10. It's hard to see because of all the purple, but there's lots of little guys hanging around Mama Bear there, or Mama Dragon. The Page of Water. So beautiful. The Knight. He too is in motion. He's in water, whereas the Earth, he's the only one that was really, stuck in his spot in his world. And that was how they were originally drawn. So I enjoy the fact that this deck kept that same energy. That beautiful Queen connects right into that High Priestess energy with the same colors. And then that King. I absolutely adore this deck. It has a nice feel to it. The cards are going to slide really nicely, which is, to me, is important. Sometimes they can get a funny texture to them, and they're hard to shuffle, and they don't slide as nicely. They have a nice texture to them, or a nice thickness here, and that feel is so important. I think this is going to be a fantastic addition to my decks, and you will see it come up a lot more because it does have such vibrant colors. I find that the more vibrant the color, the better it picks up, and you guys are more connected and engaged with that reading. Even if you don't work with the dragons and aren't a dragon fan, the imagery really catches your attention. And that's an important part of reading, catching the viewer's attention and holding it. So this is a fantastic addition. I will leave a link below, like always, to this deck. So should it speak to you, you can go check it out for yourself. I don't have as many decks coming forward as COVID has really caused some stagnation in decks being created and produced. As more decks are being created, there's a higher probability that it's going to speak to me, as the deck needs to speak to me as the reader. I just don't buy all decks and unbox them. I buy ones that resonate with me, so the reading will resonate with everybody because I have that connection to that deck. So there are a lot coming forward, and I'm hoping to continue to add into my collection, and of course, bring you along with me on these unboxings. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I hope you enjoy this deck as much as I do. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more coming your way, my friends. I've got lots of learning, healing, and of course, that insight. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing, insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a video. And if you want to, I do have a Patreon page. So if you want to support me in making these amazing videos, you can do so. I've left a link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my friends.